Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to We Need to Talk with Tony Lindsay. I'm your host, Tony Lindsay. Once again, I'm here just to, cover some of today's topics. Sorry we took so long to get on here. I was doing a little bit of setup and I was chatting with my TikTok community over to my left, being that I can't connect TikTok to the rest of these platforms while I'm streaming. Anyway, I hope everyone is having a wonderful day this Wednesday afternoon. Wait, is today Wednesday? Yeah, Wednesday, January 22nd, 2025. And of course, we have more things to talk about. And I do want to start by talking about the deportations that have begun as of today. ICE is out. They looking for folks. There are polls being done. Your president is being chastised by bishops in the Catholic Church. So there's a whole bunch of shit going on, and we're going to talk about it. But before we get into that, what I want to do is I want to present to you, well, let's get a pulse of the American people. Let's get a pulse of the country, how they feel about this immigration issue, because a lot of my friends on the left, they have been very vocal about the evils that are being committed in the name of xenophobia and racism by deporting illegal immigrants into the country. Now, I don't think that that's really the deal at all. I would argue that looking at the results of this election, that the majority of Americans are against illegal immigration, and they want these, many of them very nice people, they want them to go back home. Why? Because you can't help anyone else if you can't help yourself. So let's just take a look. And here's the thing. There's a reason why I'm about to show you this. It's because this is CNN, which is liberal media. So for my friends on the left, this is what your own quote unquote side is saying about the American sentiment, the sentiment of United States citizens as it pertains to illegal immigration and the uh, impending deportations. So let's just have a listen. Okay, so did we hear that? The majority of Americans, this is according to all the polls, they want all of the illegal immigrants, and it says all, not some, all illegal immigrants deported. Now, does that now mean that the majority of Americans are racist and hateful? Or could it possibly mean that the pledging of all of our resources to people who come from other countries is not our priority right now? Could it mean that we're no longer interested in the shaming and the virtue signaling behind taking care of other people, allowing people to come into our country unvetted, while excusing the increased crime rates that we're seeing? We know that there's been more than 13,000 convicted murderers that have been released into the country. Did y'all know that? I wonder how many of y'all know that. And I think about 14 to 15,000 who are convicted of sexual assaults. Where are they? How about the 500,000 missing children that can't be located, who are being trafficked? Some are being used as drug mules. Why are we not talking about that? So are we somehow immoral people for wanting to reverse those conditions and deal with those issues? I say no, not at all. So this is just, like I said, I wanted you guys to hear from your own people. from 36. Mhm. Okay, hold on. So someone said that they cannot hear it on YouTube. If you're on YouTube, are you able to hear the audio of the video that I'm playing right now? Okay, we can hear you, but not your video. Really? You don't hear the video? Hold on one second. You should be able to hear it. All right, how about now? All right, so you guys said you can't hear the video. Wow. Wait, someone said yes. Charlotte said yes. No, I'm on X and no sound. You got to be kidding me. All right, let's try this. Tell me if you can hear this. Wait, hold on. See, this is what I don't like about these. You can on YouTube, no sound in X. Damn, that was such a good one too. I wanted you guys to see that. All right, tell me if you can hear this. All right, this says the audio is on. Tell me if you can hear this.
Is powerful demonstration of the consciousness of guilt, or at least the consciousness that you may be in trouble. And that's what's so shocking about this.
In the past 30 minutes, we received an alert that President Biden planned to pardon Dr. Anthony Fauci, retired General Mark Milley, and also members of the House committee that investigated the January 6th attack on the Capitol.
Whoopsie daisy. All right. Were you guys able to hear that audio? That's what I need to know. If you were able to hear that audio, please let me know. I hear that. Okay, you said you hear that. Okay. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go right back to that other one because, bro, you need to hear it. We're going to try it one more time. All right. Share this tab. All right. Can you guys see that? Hold on. Damn, I hate the fact that it got so small. All right, let me give it to you there. All right. Tell me you can hear this. Hold on, I don't hear it. All right. Tell me you can hear it.
ABC News poll asked about undocumented immigrants. So we have slightly different questions, but these were all taken within the last month.
All right. I just need to know, did you guys hear that video on YouTube and did you hear it on X? He said, let's go, Grandpa. Yes, we can hear it. All right, cool, cool. Damn it. All right. So you all didn't even hear it the first time. Why the hell y'all didn't say nothing to me? All right, this is what the American people, this is how they feel about illegal immigration. Here we go.
And there's real uniformity here. That's what I really think you see. You see real uniformity. Deported all immigrants who are here illegally, 55% of the New York Times, Marquette, 64%, CBS News, 57%, ABC News with a slightly different question, 56%. So what you're seeing essentially here is a very clear indication that a majority of Americans, in fact, when they're asked this blunt question, which I believe gets at the underlying feelings, do in fact want to deport all immigrants who are here illegally. There's no arguing with these different numbers because they're all essentially the same across 4 different pollsters.
So the point, I'm glad you guys can hear it now. So this is according to 4 different pollsters. They're all pretty much on the left. So to my friends who are on the left, what do you have to say about that? This is telling you that the majority of Americans don't want illegal immigrants here. They want them to go back home and they want to prioritize their country. So it's a little odd when we see Democrats who are so against America First ideology. I mean, we've grown to a point where we view nationalism as something negative when it's nothing more than pride and priority that is being placed into your own country. But let's continue.
So if they say yes today-ish, how has that changed over time?
Yeah, this is where I think you get very interesting.
Yeah,
and so we'll
this.
take a look at that ABC News question in particular, because you can really see that there's been a massive shift from when Trump was first getting into office 8 years ago, right? Deport all undocumented immigrants. You go back to 2015, I'm going to come to your side of the screen. It was 42%. Hello. Go to 2016. It was 36%. Look at where we are now. This was taken at the end of last year, 56%. This is 20 points higher than it was just before Trump got into office the first time. So feelings towards immigration in this country, feelings towards undocumented immigrants and deporting all of them have become considerably more hawkish. And I think that gives Donald Trump much more leverage to go with the American people and sort of have these hawkish, some might say.
Did you hear what he just said? It gives Donald Trump a little bit more leverage to go with the American people. A lot of y'all have been saying Donald Trump, it's Donald Trump, he's doing this. No, CNN is literally telling you that Donald Trump is listening to the American people in his decision to deport all of the illegal immigrants that came to this country. What, does that make me a bad guy to point that out? We have to get out of our feelings. We're engaging in politics of feelings. We're not focusing on logic. So that was quite interesting when it came to the topic of immigration. And there's another thing that I wanted. Speaking of immigration, I don't know if you guys saw the prayer services that Donald Trump was in attendance at yesterday, where he was where that, I don't know if she's an LGBTQ bishop. I don't even know if that exists, but she lectured Donald Trump on immigration and quote unquote trans children. This is your Christian faith, but let's just hear it. I want y'all to hear this for yourselves. All right? You can't make this shit up.
Let me make one final plea, Mr. President.
Let me know you can hear it.
Millions have put their trust in you. And as you told the nation yesterday, you have felt the providential hand of a loving God. In the name of our God, I ask you to have mercy upon the people in our country who are scared now.
Oh, Lord.
There are gay, lesbian, and transgender children in Democratic,
Transgender children. Listen to your bishop.
Republican, and independent families.
Look at JD
some
Vance.
who fear for their lives. And the people who pick our crops, and clean our office buildings, who labor in.
Bro, hold on. I'm sorry, bro. Why does this sound so racist to me? Is it just me? Like, why does it? Wait, hold on. This reminds me of that time when one of the Osbournes, I think the daughter, they said Kelly Osbourne was like, "Yeah, Donald Trump, who's gonna clean your toilets for you, bruh?" Are y'all listening to this shit? Hold on, I gotta play this again.
Some who fear for their lives. And the people.
Look at Laura Trump.
The people who pick our crops and clean our office buildings, who labor in poultry farms and meat packing plants.
Oh my God.
Who wash the dishes after we eat in restaurants and work the night shifts in hospitals. They may not.
Bro, look at JD Vance, bro. look at Donald Trump's face right now as I got it frozen. Yo, let me make this bigger. I don't know. Y'all on TikTok, I wish you could see this. Look at Donald Trump's face right now. He's like, bruh, are you serious? Come on. Look at Lara Trump's face. I'm sorry, bro. This was such a cringe-worthy moment. But let me keep going. I'll stop interrupting, but it's crazy.
Not be citizens or have the proper documentation But the vast majority of immigrants are not criminals. They pay taxes and are good neighbors. They are faithful members of our churches and mosques, synagogues, wadara, and temples. I ask you to have mercy, Mr. President, on those in our communities whose children fear that their parents will be taken away, and that you help those who are fleeing war zones and persecution in their own lands to find compassion and welcome here. Our God teaches us that we are to be merciful to the stranger, for we will.
Okay, so you get the point. You got the point. So this bishop lady, she used that service as an opportunity to be political. This is the problem I have with, when bringing certain types of politics into the church, and to people who identify as Christians. Like, do you think that that type of message is okay? Now, I know some people are saying, oh, she's preaching empathy, but she's also preaching trans children. Like, how do you reconcile that? That's my question. So Donald Trump, and I will be honest, he handled it like a champ. He didn't say anything. He kind of stood there stone faced, tried to hold it. You know what I'm saying? But actually, that's a good point. She's literally insulting Latinos. So all they do is pick crops and clean your toilets. Oh, damn. But I want to show you guys what Donald Trump, he posted on his Truth Social afterwards. He wrote, the so-called bishop who spoke at the National Prayer Service on Tuesday morning was a radical left hardline Trump hater. She brought her church into the world of politics. Well, I agree with that. In a very ungracious way. She was nasty in tone and not compelling or smart. I don't want to say she was nasty in tone. I mean, she was very monotone. Yeah, but the tone of the rhetoric was nasty. I will say that. She failed to mention the large number of illegal migrants that came into our country and killed people. Facts. Many were deposited from jails and mental institutions. That is also true as well, as verified by several other countries. And it's so funny how people try to always say Donald Trump is lying in that regard when he totally isn't. It is a giant crime wave that is taking place in the USA. Apart from her inappropriate statements, the service was a very all right, here comes the insults. The service was a very boring and uninspiring one. Yo, Trump always got to be petty, bro. But I get it. She is not very good at her job. She and her church owe the public an apology. I do think she owes the people an apology. Yeah, that's. I didn't want to listen. I see that some Silver Fox says not to be funny, but she looks gay herself. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if there's a gay phenotype. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, I don't know. I just don't even understand how sexuality enters into the church anyway when you talk about trans and all of this type of stuff. But that's something to discuss amongst the church, because I know when it comes to Christianity, you have all these different denominations. You have Baptist, Pentecostal, you got Catholics, you have what's the other? You have Methodists, you have all of these different denominations. So I guess they do it differently. But I know the Black church, I know where they tend to stand on these sorts of issues. So it's interesting, for me to ask a lot of my Black Democrat friends, how do you feel about that messaging when you talk about, Donald Trump and the trans children? Who are these trans children? How old are these trans children who identify themselves as at an intersection between male and female? Are they 5 years old, 6 years old? I mean, what are they? I mean, we know in our schools as early as kindergarten and first grade, you have teachers who are telling our children when they go to school, hey, you can be, what do you feel like today? You can be a boy or you can be a girl. So this is something that this is very concerning. Now, to the people who were saying, oh, she was just trying to plead for empathy, and it was not about politics. Well, I would say that Bishop Bud or Bood, she disagrees with you. And this is from the article. Bood, who also preached about gay, lesbian, and transgender children who quote unquote fear for their lives, happily confirmed late Tuesday that she meant the service as a one-on-one conversation with the president. That's what you meant. That's what that service was about. Your one-on. How about try to have a one-on-one conversation with the president? Does that not make sense? If this service is structured as a one-on-one conversation with the president, do you think it's more effective for you to have a nice private one-on-one with him or to try to publicly lecture him? Let's be honest. I see this administration like that. You're going to see the media. You're going to see elected officials. You're going to see clergy. You're going to see all of these people doing what they did under the first Donald Trump administration, which is try to trigger him, embarrass him, and antagonize him. Anyway, moving forward, I was looking at the president because I was speaking to him. I was speaking to the president because I felt he has this moment now where he feels charged and empowered to do what he feels called to do. No, it's actually what the American people are calling him to do. And I wanted to say there is room for mercy, she said. So, and also, apparently she went on The View this morning to double down on her politics. And to me, anybody who goes on The View and takes those people seriously, bruh, that tells me everything I need to know. So let me get this off the screen. So that's what happened yesterday. To me, it was a little bit hilarious though, like looking at their faces, because seeing JD Vance, he like the moment she said some of that wild shit, he was just like looked over at his wife casually. But I don't think anybody peeped Laura Trump in the back. That's who you had to look at. She was just like, man, bro, what the hell is going on here? But yeah, so I don't know if you've ever been put in like an embarrassing, compromised position. Y'all know what that feels like. So speaking of The View, I want to play something for you because I think I saw a clip this morning that was talking about Tulsi Gabbard, who Trump, nominated for the Director of National Intelligence, right? Department of National Intelligence. And how do I describe Tulsi? I would say I like Tulsi. I think that there was a moment where she was kind of, I don't know. Let me rewind. Tulsi Gabbard, I think, is probably one of the most candid and direct and integrity-filled people, especially as it pertains to war in politics today. And I think the reason why she's undergone so many attacks by the establishment is because she was open, is because honestly, I think it's because she walked away from the Democrat Party. Do you guys remember when Tulsi Gabbard was a Democrat? And when she decided to kind of shift away from the politics of the Democrats and she started to I guess entertain Bernie Sanders more, when she decided that she was going to like step down, I forgot what position she had in the DNC, but she decided to endorse Bernie Sanders, even though she didn't agree with Bernie on everything. But I know she definitely agreed with Bernie on the anti-interventionist sorts of policies, these anti-war policies. But when she did that, she became persona non grata in the Democrat Party. And I think there's been this puppet hand that has been at work behind the Democrat Party for so long that everyone has just been ignoring. And that's Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton is going to go down in history as one of the worst, most evil people that ever sat in any position in government. She has been Tony, I hope you see this. He's doing a stream call. You can ask him later. Yeah, sorry. Yeah. So when Tulsi decided to run for president and she was on that stage with everyone and she's going back and forth. Remember when she cooked Kamala Harris, knocked out the box? But it's like America, the United States, they love Tulsi. Let's be real. She was a rising star. She was very popular on the campaign trail for Bernie Sanders. And then all of a sudden, you started to hear about Russia when it came to Tulsi Gabbard. And we know Hillary Clinton was behind that. She's the first person who tried to intimate that Tulsi Gabbard was some type of a Russian stooge. And we know that this is the same Hillary Clinton who is responsible for the Steele dossier and all of the Russia hoax and all of the lies that were spread about Donald Trump being a Russian asset. And when you accuse someone of something like that, you're accusing them of treason. Like that's a very serious charge. And I think anyone who does something like that should themselves be charged with treason when they do that deliberately, because that threatens the national security of the country, one, and two, it puts that person that you are accusing in a great amount of danger under false pretenses, and it creates a real sense of confusion. So she did that with Tulsi. She did it with Trump. They even did it with Bernie, if y'all remember. They used Russia, this Cold War nonsense, as a way of manipulating the American people while throwing people like Tulsi Gabbard and Bernie Sanders and Trump under the bus. Where's the accountability for people like Hillary Clinton? Because she's been called out a multitude of times, but she still just keeps sticking around like a freaking wart. She doesn't go away. This is the same Hillary Clinton who destroyed Haiti with her Clinton Foundation, who scammed all those people out of all that money. It's the same Hillary Clinton who she championed, like she praised Henry Kissinger. It's the same Hillary Clinton who was talking about, yeah, if people are saying things that are misinformation, we should pursue criminal charges against them. This is the same person who's talking about locking you up for saying things, for dissenting with your government, for saying things that the government deems as misinformation. Same warmonger Hillary Clinton who criticized Donald Trump on the campaign trail for being a candidate of peace. I don't understand this. Why is Hillary Clinton still a thing? But let's just put some of this shit in Tulsi's own words, because this started with me talking about The View. And I'm just wondering, like, do y'all even remember this? Because I do.
I want to start with something that I think is also important about facts, because recently on your show here,
I was just going to get to that.
Good.
Yeah, right to their faces.
Helping you out.
You want me to ask you?
No, look, some of you have accused me of being a traitor to my country, a Russian asset, a Trojan horse, or a useful idiot, I think was the term that you used. Which basically means that I'm naive or lack intelligence to know what's going on.
They use that.
I want to let your viewers know exactly who I am.
All right.
Set the record straight. I am a patriot. I love our country. I am a strong and intelligent woman of color, and I have dedicated almost my entire adult life to protecting the safety, security, and the freedom of all Americans in this country. It was the attacks on 9/11.
See, that's why Tulsi is a threat. She's beautiful. She's intelligent. She's young. She's a woman of color. So they need something to throw on her to make her this villain to the American people. And here comes Hillary Clinton. Oh, yeah, I got it. Russia. The same way that she very craftily insinuated that Barack Obama wasn't born in this country on the debate stage against him, which later was attributed to Donald Trump. People don't realize how Hillary Clinton has really, like in many of these instances, she has been the originator of all of this. But let's continue.
Well, so I guess we're getting a little bit far.
Oh, and by the way, respect to Tulsi for calling them out right to their faces. See, that's gangster. See, that's what you do. They were talking all that hot shit about her, and she pressed them right there in front of everyone and got applause from their own audience. The View is a joke, and they shouldn't even be allowed to continue to be like, I don't even know how they're allowed to still be on the air unless they just label the program as political entertainment, because nothing that is substantial, serious, or even true is being conveyed on that damn show.
Ahead of ourselves, but Franklin Graham finds you refreshing. He doesn't find me refreshing. Richard Spencer, the white nationalist leader, says he could vote for you.
Joy, this is
Here we go.
You're on
I'm
Tucker
here.
Carlson at least 10 times.
Oh
Why
my
don't you go
God.
on Chris Wallace's show?
This is why I'm
Yo, this is real Trump derangement syndrome. Are you all listening to this?
here, because you and other people continue to spread these innuendos that have nothing to do with who I am.
Well, Hillary
that have
Clinton
nothing to
started
do
it,
with
and then
who
you
I
shot
am.
back at her, boy.
Oh, damn. Look how Joy is so quick to throw Hillary under the bus when she's getting challenged, when she's put on the spot now. Look how quickly she threw Hillary under the bus. Well, there you go. Leftists, the View, they're telling you right there, it's Hillary Clinton who did it.
You called her the queen of warmongers.
You doubled down, unfortunately, you doubled down on the baseless accusations that she made that strikes at the core of who I am. I'm a soldier. Because of the attacks on 9/11, I enlisted in the military to go after and defeat and destroy the evil that visited us on that day. I've served now for over 16 years, deployed twice to the Middle East during the height of the war, where every single day I saw firsthand the terribly high human cost.
That's right.
That's why I ran for Congress.
We actually have the clip of Hillary Clinton just to put this in
Just
context
put it
of
in
what we're
context.
talking about. Let's take a look at that.
I'm not making any predictions, but I think they've got their eye on somebody who's currently in the Democratic primary and are grooming her to be the third party candidate.
Grooming her.
She's the favorite of the Russians. They have a bunch of, sites and bots and other ways of supporting her so far. And that's assuming Jill Stein will give it up, which she might not, because she's also a Russian asset.
Bro, like seriously, how does she get away with that? And Hillary Clinton later on clarified that she was talking about Tulsi Gabbard. For those of you who will try to make an excuse and say, well, she didn't directly call her out right there. Yeah, she did. She called her a Russian asset. We know that Tulsi Gabbard, they had her on the terrorist watch list during this last election campaign cycle, where they were following her around. They had assets following her around on every flight that she was on. This sort of harassment, this weaponization of government should not exist, which I find quite interesting that Donald Trump, within hours of his inauguration, signed an executive order banning any weaponization of government against political opponents. But y'all don't give him credit for that? Even though we saw how Democrats have been quite skillful and open about weaponizing the government against their political opponents, Donald Trump comes in office and immediately he bans that practice, which I argue holds him accountable as well. No? This is what I mean when I talk about TDS. We have to at least just look at the facts in front of us before we decide that we're going to label people. And so, yeah, that's and one last thing I did want to cover now. Do people actually believe Hillary? I don't know. Do people trust Hillary Clinton? Because even when I was a hardcore Democrat, I never trusted Hillary Clinton. I never liked Hillary Clinton. I hated what she did in Haiti. I hated the fact that she was calling young men like me at the time super predators, because I know she had a very heavy hand in setting the environment that led to a lot of young black men being locked up. So I was never a fan of Hillary Clinton when I was a Democrat or now as an independent. I have never, ever been a fan of her. That's crazy. But anyway, the last thing that I did want to cover is these pardons, these preemptive pardons that Joe Biden signed on the way out the door. Bro, I think it's so revealing, bro. Like, if you didn't commit a crime, why are you going to be asking for a pardon? Why are you going to be asking for a pardon? And I think what we saw Joe Biden do, it exposed a lot of the intentions of a lot of these corrupt individuals in Congress, not just in the Biden White House. Do you guys remember in that appropriations bill? Remember the CR, the continuing resolution, where they tried to sneak all of that extra stuff in there and they didn't tell you about it? Remember when we were talking about the raises for Congress and what else were they trying to put in there? They were putting in that money for censorship and mandates, and they tried to sneak all of that shit in there. Remember that? But there was also something else that they tried to sneak in that bill where it would ban any subpoenas of information investigating Congress criminally. What about the J6 committee? Because a lot of people were saying, damn, that's really convenient for the January 6th committee that was investigating all of those people that just locked everybody up. Remember that? Just locked them up, threw away the key. They didn't care. They wanted to make an example out of all those people. So if you wanted to find out if the process was done properly, legally, you would need to see all of those J6 files from that committee. Interestingly enough, they tried to sneak in that exemption in the bill. It didn't get passed. We didn't get that. They condensed it to a single issue package. So we're going to see more single issue bills coming forth as opposed to these huge omnibus bills that they always shove mad shit in there that you don't even know what the hell it is. But so they tried to sneak in exemption basically from prosecution for members of Congress. And then what do we have when Joe Biden is on his way out? He pardons all of these people on the J6 committee. Let's listen to what these same people, like Jamie Raskins, who promised to overturn the election after Donald Trump won. Let's see what people like him had to say about these preemptive pardons.
Powerful demonstration.
Wait, you know what? Nah, let me do this over because I want you guys to see this. I want you to see it on the screen. But Tony, you are avoiding my question. I don't even know. I'm not looking over here. I'm having this conversation, Curtis. I'll get back to you when I'm done with this podcast episode. I'm like literally doing this live right now. All right. So let me get this on the screen for you guys. And here it is. This is Jamie Raskins. This is Jamie Raskins on preemptive pardons. When we were, let's play it. Oh, damn it. Where's the sound? Here we go.
Is powerful demonstration of the consciousness of guilt, or at least the consciousness that you may be in trouble.
So he's saying asking for preemptive pardons is like an indicator that you are guilty of something. When you ask for a preemptive pardon, it's basically like it's showing the consciousness of, yeah, I'm guilty of something, so I need to be pardoned.
And that's what's so shocking about this.
In the past 30 minutes, we received an alert that President Biden planned to pardon Dr. Anthony Fauci, retired General Mark Milley, and also members of the House committee that investigated the January 6th attack on the Capitol.
Oops. So members of that committee who investigated the attack on the Capitol, that includes Jamie Raskins. Hey, Jamie Raskins can always turn down the pardon. He can always refuse it, right? If you guys didn't do anything, if you did nothing wrong, just don't accept the pardon. Tony Fauci, you didn't do anything wrong. Don't accept the pardon. I think the American people deserve that. I mean, we have a right to know what happened, right? So why was the Biden administration trying to exempt the J6 committee from being investigated before he left? What information? Why is it that he didn't want anyone to be able to subpoena the records of what they did to prosecute those people, to make sure that they were following the law? that there was no weaponization of government. And when he couldn't get that through, you pardon them. When you pardon someone and they accept that pardon, isn't that kind of saying, yeah, well, yeah, I did it? I mean, that's what Democrats were saying when they were talking about Donald Trump potentially preemptively pardoning his children. They were against it then, but now all of those people who condemn that practice as saying that, oh, you're definitely guilty. Now all of a sudden they're saying, oh yes, they're praising Joe Biden for doing the exact same thing. That's hypocrisy. So yeah, those are just some of the things that I wanted to cover this morning. The deportations have begun. And the American people, the majority of Americans, want to see those deportations, according to all of the polls, leftist polls, by the way. And Donald Trump is going to get to work. So, yeah, that's my my little segment for today. And I'm going to go transfer over to TikTok to finish the conversation. If any of you guys, wait, let me give you guys my TikTok. Even though I'm not even sure how long I'm going to be on TikTok, because I'm really tired of TikTok censoring me. All they do is censor people. Where is it? Oh, wait. Oh, no, that's my ex. If you want to follow me on TikTok, all right. Oh, here we go. Right here. There you go. If you want to follow me on TikTok, you can find me right there, Tony_Talks. That is Tony_Talks on TikTok. I appreciate that. You guys just come on in and join the conversation. Well, that's if my account isn't suspended, because it usually gets suspended whenever I say prohibited words like abortion or gun or hang or the. It doesn't matter. They always find creative ways to suspend accounts of people, any person who tends to speak against the orthodoxy of the Democrat Party. And meanwhile, you'll see people like Harry Sisson and Dean and those Parker kids. They can say whatever they want. It's really fascinating watching their lives and to see how much I hate the word misinformation, but how much misinformation they get away with impunity, while, you know, everyone else, they just have regular conversations. And if you sneeze too loud, the algorithm is going to take you down. Or if a Democrat, usually Democrat bots, like they send all of these these liberal agencies, they send out these troves of bots, or some of these creators, they have their Discord groups where if someone is speaking too much truth, they'll send out their mob to go into your live stream and mass report to get you taken down. And that's another policy that I would hope Donald Trump or these social media companies address at the behest of the new Section 230 protections that should hold them to a standard of a digital due process, whereas people can't just come in and just mass report and just get you taken down like that. Because as it currently stands on TikTok, all it takes is people to report you for something for you to be taken down. There's no actual due process. There's no need to prove anything. I was literally streaming the inauguration and I was taken down for hate speech. It wasn't on camera, so there's no copyright issues, but I was taken down for hate speech. And this is something that is very common. It always happens. Whenever people come into your lives, they'll even tell you, hey, I'm going to report you for misinformation. And within 30 seconds, your account is taken down. So that's you're guilty until proven innocent. But the fact is, you're not even allowed the chance to prove yourself innocent, because they take your shit down. And then when you try to appeal the decision, most times those appeals will be ignored. And so, yeah, that's something that needs to change on these platforms like TikTok. And, you know, real talk, we can't just be blindly supporting these big tech platforms while they're censoring us. That's why I'm on X now. I'm on Rumble. I'm not censored on those platforms. I don't care how big or how small they are, but they will grow because we are seeing a growing appetite for truth and logic from the American people. And I think they're getting tired of just always being quote unquote entertained. People are now yearning for more substance, more information. And you're going to find that on X, which currently stands as the #1 platform for news on the globe. So y'all can always find me here on X at, let me get this off the screen so you guys can see. You can find me at Tony L Talks on X. And you can also find me on Rumble right here at We Need to Talk with Tony Lindsay. That is We Need to Talk with Tony Lindsay. Once again, I thank you all for joining me. And it's been great. I'll see you guys soon. I'll be over on TikTok. Everybody have a great day. Peace.